that the Auditor General ought to have completed and submitted the audit report of the county government of Kisii by December, and that within 3 months of submitting that report, the Senate here ought to have deliberated and determined these proceedings.
So who do you have a problem with?
The evidence I have that I can rely on.
Which constitutional entity do you have a problem with? Which constitutional entity is in breach of the Constitution? In this case, in your submission.
I want to believe both or either, and under the constitutional provisions, it doesn't matter whether it's both or either, if at least one is in breach.
What has the Senate breached as far as the Constitution is concerned?
229(8) requires that within 3 months.
Can you read it verbatim?
Council, as you prepare to read, you will also address us on retroactive applicability of that decision. You will point us to the paragraph where the judge says that all previous audits are now declared illegalities.
I think let's first stick to, because here you are at the Senate, I am not going to answer for the Office of Auditor General. I'm going to take responsibility for the omissions or commissions of the Senate. So read 2298.
It says, within 3 months of receiving an audit report referred to under subsection 1, Parliament or the relevant county assembly shall debate and consider the report and take appropriate action.
Where has Parliament breached that provision?
The invitation we received, the first invitation to deal with
Who
this
tells you that that invitation was a first instance where Parliament was dealing with this report? Have you looked at the covering schedule? When was this report tabled in Parliament?
Well, you said...
When was the report tabled in Parliament?
I don't have the evidence.
If you don't have that, then you are engaging in speculation, my friend.
That would deal with 2294 concerning the timelines within which the...
No, Wakili. If a matter is expressed in terms of a time period, if you do not know the start date, can you really talk to us about breach of the Constitution? You have said yourself you don't know when the reports... Just a minute.
I have one...
Do you know when the reports were tabled in Parliament? Yes or no? It's a simple question.
I don't, and that is
then
why
therefore you cannot know whether it is out of time if you don't know the date in which it was tabled.
That is insofar as you're dealing with the...
Correct, and that is the question the chair is asking you.
Let me clarify this, because this is a no-brainer. I see where you guys are going to, but we are not going to allow you to go there. This report for the year ended 30th June 2023 was laid on the table of the Senate by the Deputy Majority Whip on 21st of March 2024. Was that within the 3 months required of Parliament, according to Article 2298? Yes. What does tabling mean? It means the matter was brought before Parliament. What does the Constitution require us to do? It requires us, within 3 months after receiving an audit report, Parliament or the County Assembly shall debate, consider the report, and take appropriate action. When this report was laid on the table on the 21st of March 2024, the appropriate action that Parliament took was to refer it to the Public Accounts Committee. The Public Accounts Committee was then mandated to look at the issues, to investigate the issues, and to bring back a report. What has this Senate done that is outside the Constitution if the tabling and decision was made on 21st of March?
Now, the compliance within 3 months.
Was 21st of March within 3 months?
I'm referring to the proceedings before you.
This is the appropriate action that is subsequent to the decision of 21st of March. You should have done your homework, my friend.
Chair, also,
and Governor, you need to look at the quality of legal advice you are getting.
Yeah, we have two reports here. There is 20.
I am dealing with this report. What is out of order in the report for the year ended 30th June 2023, as far as the role of Parliament is concerned? What is out of order? I have shown you, Deputy Majority Whip tabled this report on 21st of March 2024, and thereafter, Parliament made the decision that the appropriate action is for the report to be considered by the Public Accounts Committee.
Chair,
have you looked at the Hansard?
I gave this advice based on the two reports that were here.
No, let's deal with one report at a time. Do you have a problem us taking appropriate action on the report for the year ended 30th June 2023?
I will need to be furnished with evidence when.
Whose responsibility is it to
I have been kind enough to supply that evidence to you, because today you are not running away. The evidence is now before you. Can you see the page that the chair is referring to?
Chairman, as the CA is looking at that document, rightly the way you put it, you received the document on 21st March. Within the 3 months, which are coming to an end, that is in July, the invite that you gave us, you should have actually made it possible within the 3 months to have considered these reports.
Governor, you go back and read Article 2298.
Yes.
We have looked at this ruling that you have put before us. We have looked at it from page 1 to the last page. What is required of Parliament is to debate, consider, and take appropriate action. What we are doing right now is a part of taking appropriate action. When a report is tabled, the Speaker or the leadership of the House makes certain decisions for action to be taken by a committee that is outside the 3 months that we're talking about here.
Chair and Governor, in light of what you told us earlier about your inability to attend this committee, is that really a fair accusation for you to make, knowing very well that you yourself have been unable to appear here, and you have given us reasons? One time you were outside, the other time you were at a presidential function. We were here. Is it fair for you to say that we should have done things that you know you contributed to our inability to do?
Chair, that will not be fair. Agreed. But the question is, Chair, apart from where at the Senate as it is, that it did not receive this report on time as required by the Constitution, could we cure? That's the question, Chair, again. I want to...
Okay, let me ask you, Governor. When did you submit your financial statements to the Auditor General?
It must have been submitted on time, Chair.
No, it's not a speculation, because you guys are prepared with the facts. Yeah. What is the date on which you presented your financial statements to the Auditor General?
Can I have my copy back, Wakili, if you are done?
Chair, I'm told 30th September.
Where are you reading that? Can you prove it? Can you prove it?
I can ask my people, because they're the people who submit under the Auditor General.
The financial statement that was tabled in Parliament indicates that they were prepared by your team on 10th of January 2024. 10th of January. Now, Wakili, since you are a smart Wakili, what is your constitutional responsibility as an entity that receives public funds? Before you accuse the Auditor General of sleeping on the job, this was submitted on 10th of January 2024. What is the constitutional responsibility of the entity before you shift the blame?
Well, I'm not shifting blame.
What is the constitutional responsibility of the entity?
They are supposed to account.
And you're supposed to prepare your financial statements within what duration?
Before the close of the financial year.
Well, it's not before close of financial year. Be fair to the accountants in the House.
You can tell us because they're here.
What is your responsibility, statutory and constitutional? Because the Auditor General cannot provide a report before you have presented your financial statements.
The financial statements are supposed to be submitted by 30th of September.
30th of September.
Yeah.
These were submitted on 10th of January. And Governor, your team advises you that we reject this process, these reports, on account of failures by the Auditor General and Senate when you provided your financial statements in January, 3 months later.
Through the chair, those are reversed.
It does not matter to us. This is what we have visibility on.
But Mr. Chairman.
10th of January 2024. The Auditor General has struggled to bring financial statements to Parliament in less than a month. In less than a month, when the Auditor General is required to do that exercise in 3 months. Are we being fair to constitutional entities?
You know, Governor, they say that those who come to equity must come with clean hands. You are trying to hide behind a decision that had totally different circumstances from your circumstances in Kisii. And your wakili there is doing you a great disservice, because maybe I failed to disclose, Honorable Chair, that the governor of Kisii is my friend. I know him very well. He's a good man. He doesn't try to be clever when he knows that there's a problem, and he readily admits when there's a problem. Governor, you're being misadvised. You're being misadvised, because if the claim is that the auditors must have signed by 31st December of 2023, and you yourselves are submitting your financials in January, that umbrella is not available for you to cover yourself with. Let it just rain on you. I think these are the clouds that the chair was referring to when we began this process. Now I can see why I was required to pray.
Chairman.
But just a minute, Vice Chair.
Maybe two just basic questions, Governor. In your own opinion, are you ready to proceed with today's meeting, number one? Number two, through your wakili, there is a principle of separation of powers, and there is a decision that was made by Speaker Emeritus, the current public service, what is his name, J. Muturi. He was your speaker. In fact, I think you were in that session, in the David Ochieng, Kenya Member of Parliament, when I think the NASA wanted to whip him. And Justin Muturi and somebody rushed to court. And the speaker, where you served as Member of Parliament of Dakureti North, stated that there is no arm of government can direct another arm, including whether judiciary or parliament or executive, national executive. So with your wakili there in these principles of separation of powers, where we have judicial overreach, do you think judiciary should be holding the hand of parliament in making that decision and running in their affairs? Because they will be rewriting how principle of powers operates. So I would want to do, and finally, Governor, looking at this report that was tabled on 2nd March 2024. So apart from this Justice Ngad decision, and despite the fact that on several occasions, out of course, convincing reason you have avoided, in the principles of equity, who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Do you think it is unfair to accuse, let me use the word accuse cautiously, the committee did not consider in time, considering that you could not make it because of course, valid reasons that you have tabled? Do you think it will be fair? Those are my three questions.
Governor?
Chair, three things. Number one, I want to confirm that the county government of Kisii submitted the reports to the Auditor General on 30th September, as by the law. What you have there, is
evidence to that effect, because you who alleges must prove.
Chair, there is evidence, and I can supply. I can supply that yes, we did submit on time, as it was required.
Okay, I'll allow you to prosecute? Oh, Senator, you wanted?
Yes, Chair.
Oh, okay, just a minute, Governor. Senator?
I just wanted to say that if that information that the governor is raising is not tabled and it's not within it, then we will not accept that argument.
Yeah, because the difficulty we have is that the financial statement that was certified
has already been tabled
and that we are considering indicates that the county executive's financial statements were approved and signed by the CEC member for finance on 10th of January 2024.
Governor, again, I want to invoke our friendship, just to remind you that once you go under oath, once you leave that Bible, there are consequences of making statements that are manifestly untrue. Because the documents that are before us are here. Is the CEC for Finance and Economic Planning who signed this document here?
Yes.
Where is he?
Chairman, I'm around.
As Governor, you need to ask your CEC if he understands the import of appending your signature to a document, especially given what the document says. In law, your attorney there will tell you that once you have a document, you don't introduce oral evidence to explain its contents, because we can all read. This is not in Gusi. This is in English. It says the county executive's financial statements were approved and signed by the CEC member for finance on the 10th of January 2024. Is this your signature?
Yes, Chairman. That's
so is this document wrong? Because what the governor is saying is different from what the document is saying. Should we believe the document or the governor's oral presentation?
Chairman, that's my signature and that's the document, I believe.
Is what this document saying correct?
I believe so, Chair.
My friend, is what this document saying correct?
Yes, Chairman.
Governor, you may want to retract because the subject matter specialist has a different version from what you are giving the committee.
Chairman, given that he just signed, the people who submitted the documents, they're here. And I want to confirm because they have been. And I'm happy that you're bringing up that document. Mr. Nyandanyi, when did you submit the documents?
With evidence.
And who is Mr. Nyandanyi?
Head of accounts. Through my governor, we usually submit by 30th of September.
Usually.
But we don't have the evidence here with us because we didn't know.
Then what you're saying is not useful. Governor, proceed.
Chairman, number two.
You said there were three things.
Yeah.
I'm still allowing you to, but remember our 10 minutes is spent.
Number two, Chairman, number two, the fact that we brought in the documents and we submitted to the committee, Chair, we were ready to continue with the report, as it were. But Chairman, again, the fact that there was that ruling is what we were taking precaution of, so that we don't offend the Constitution, as it were, and it has been cleared by the courts. Tomorrow we don't find ourselves as a county, as the Senate. Always I'm ready, Mr. Chairman, as I've said. Only precautionary, we were taking caution.
No, Governor, are you ready? Are you ready to proceed?
I'm ready, Chairman.
Are you still maintaining your preliminary objection?
I am, because, Chairman, I believe if the Constitution is being abused.
You can't have it both ways. You are either holding on to objection or you are saying you have abandoned it and we can proceed. Vice Chair.
My brother, Governor Arati, and I used to normally play for you when we were taking lunch that you become the governor of Kisii. And I hope you remember those prayers. They are powerful. That's why you are governor. Mr. Arati, Your Excellency, you are with us in Parliament. There are decisions that the courts would make. But we used to tell courts, I can even give you an answer, where you are telling of courts that they cannot interfere with the work of Parliament. So you are before Parliament, which you protected for 10 years as a member of Parliament, Now you are telling us, you know, we can't proceed because some judge somewhere has decided to issue some orders. Yet I thought the important part through the chair is accounting for the taxpayers' money, regardless of any other decision, because I thought you wanted the people of Kisii to know today how the money we dispense to can be accounted for. So, Governor, you should choose the way. Either we proceed or you sustain your objection, then the committee can make a decision, and we also save your time and save our time, because we know you need to be in Kisii also discharging your duties as the governor. So, Chair,
and as senators, we need to be in the chamber to approve money that is going to counties.
Cash disbursement today in the afternoon.
Which we have done faithfully. When it comes to disbursing money to counties, these senators have done it faithfully.
Yes.
When it comes to oversighting errant officials, including your deputy governor, this Senate has done it faithfully. When it comes to accounting for expenditure, the governor carries a smart lawyer without all the facts to try to sabotage this important exercise. Governor, those are our three very important roles. Yes. Allocate money to counties, we have done it faithfully. To oversight, we have done it faithfully, including an impeachment in Kisii. Why is oversight of finances becoming a problem?
And even we have defeated a presidential memorandum.
Yesterday,
we
got 2/3.
380 billion.
We raised 2/3 of the vote of
Senate. And we raised 7 billion. We defeated a presidential memorandum.
Why is it that when it comes to accounting, you come with a battalion of lawyers?
Chairman, let me say I didn't come with battalions of lawyers. I have only one lawyer here with me.
I think you came with your legal advisor as backup, as a substitute. Just a minute, Governor. Senator Mariam, and then Senator Gatai.
Chair, when Governor is explaining about the financial, he said an accountant just signed. So maybe they are not owning the report. Is it? Are you satisfied with the content of the report? If you are saying just sign the report on this, you have to maybe paraphrase that. This objection of yours, it is only one thing. Is either you have to withdraw so that we can continue, or you make it firm there so that we can make decision.
Thank you, Chair. This is Senator Mwenda Gataya, Mofa Yadaraganidi County, a member of this committee.
Thank you. Senator Sifuna, remember we stopped the governor. He was trying to explain something.
I understand, and because you know, Governor, it doesn't look good when we look for legal loopholes to try and stop a conversation about utilization of the resources of the people of Kisii. As I said, I know you. I don't think there is anything you have to hide, but that is how it is appearing. And it is not a good look on you, because I know you are a straightforward person. Your lawyer there should also advise you that if you are going to object to our proceedings, maybe you shouldn't file responses. Because immediately you have filed responses like this. This is now the custody of the Senate. You can't come then tell us that you don't want to proceed because of something that happened.
Secondly, I want to...
So what I would advise you, Governor, is let us not take this stance where, because it cannot have been the decision of the court. And I've read that decision, and I asked your lawyer to show me where the court has said that all audit reports that are now before Parliament should not be looked at by Parliament. You cannot injunct processes of Parliament, and it cannot have been the intention of the court to allow governors and county governments to escape scrutiny by representatives of the people. And I want to let you know that now that you have brought this decision to our attention, we as members of Parliament will apply for review of that position. It is not tenable, because it doesn't make any sense. Right now, the auditors are having to scramble. They're trying to comply. Yesterday, I was at an what is it called? Entry meeting, because the governor knows I'm also an accounting officer. My exit meeting is on the 9th. By 31st, the reports for that big party that you're speaking about will be done. Honorable Governor, we are not in the business of running away from accountability. And all that happens in this committee is a conversation about how money has been utilized. So you should encourage a position that allows these facts to be brought out, and also to use this forum to also explain to the country and the people of Kisii what your government is doing, because you will not get a better opportunity than this.
Chair, allow me to say this. We are ready to move. The only thing, Chair, as I said earlier, it's good that I also bring it in, know that there is this ruling. But for me, Chair, I'm prepared. And that's why I supplied all the documentation that which are required. And therefore, Chair, I stepped down the objection. We move on with I'm ready. Chair, again, Senate is part of the businesses we are continually learning from the best also practices that we have learned around. Therefore, I'll be the happiest person to really know where we are doing wrong or what we are doing right. The Chair, so that we're not accused tomorrow that we convened with the Senate in defeating the ruling. But I've stepped down that one. We can proceed.
Actually, it is not you stepping it down. It is the chair overruling the objection for the following reasons. The Senate has demonstrated that the report of the Auditor General on the County Executive of Kisii for the year ended 30th June 2023, which was tabled on 21st of March 2024 and referred to the Public Accounts Committee for appropriate action, the Senate operated within the constitutional timelines. The Senate has further confirmed and demonstrated that if there was a delay by the Office of the Auditor General in submitting reports to Parliament, it was occasioned by the delay of the Kisii County Executive to provide financial statements, which were approved and signed by the CC on 10th of January 2024, 3 months outside the constitutional and statutory timelines. With regards to the other report, the County Revenue Fund report for the year ended 30th June 2023, this report, the Senate was seized of it on 20th of March 2024, upon which the Senate referred the report to the Public Accounts Committee for appropriate action on that date. If there was a delay by the Auditor General in submitting the report to Parliament, again, it was occasioned by the County Executive of Kisii, because the County Revenue Fund's financial statements were approved and signed on 19th of December 2023, whereas they ought to have been provided by 30th of September 2023. If anyone is going to take responsibility for that delay, it is the County Executive of Kisii. In the final report for the financial year 2023, this report, Parliament was seized of it on 21st of March 2024 within the constitutional timelines. We did our own internal processes of debate and consideration, and it was referred to this committee for appropriate action, which is what we are doing. If there was a delay by the Auditor General in providing the financial statement report to Parliament, it was again occasioned by the illegal actions, because these are violations of the law. We can point you to the law that makes it an offense not to comply with the provisions of the Public Audit and PFM Act. The County Revenue Fund, the revenue statements were approved and signed by the receiver of revenue on 30th November 2023, 2 months outside the statutory timelines. So, Governor, we must make a ruling on this. I do not want us to avoid taking the decision. Parliament has acted properly within its timelines. The County Executive of Kisii has acted outside the constitutional and statutory timelines, and therefore, if there was to be a crisis, it would be a self-inflicted crisis by the County Executive of Kisii. Now, it's important that we have this conversation, and I think it's important that you brought it up.
Chairman.
So that it can, just a minute, so that it can provide guidance to the other governors who might assume that they can use a legal loophole to run away from accountability. The Senate, I think we have applied our minds to this. Of course, we are seeking a review on certain issues, transitional issues, clarification on practical application. But we cannot seek a review of the Constitution. There's no contention about what the Constitution says. But for us to fulfill the constitutional requirements, all of us must play our part. There is no way the Auditor General can give a report if the entity provides a report in the following year. And there is no way this committee can take appropriate action without calling the entities, because Article 47 gives you the right to fair administrative action. So it's not, unless you just want us to adopt and say that insurance money was stolen, HR money was stolen. That's why we afford you this opportunity. I've made that long submission so that it can act as a guide kwa wale ambao wako na nia kama zako.
Chair, Chair, first of all, I withdrew. Therefore, after withdrawing, Chair, you can't give the ruling on it, because I stepped down that objection that I
No, the matter needed to be determined.
I know, Chair, you're guiding that any other governor coming for must put their acts together. But again, I agree with you. We must be, all of us, faithful to what the Constitution requires of us. Therefore, as I just indicated earlier, Chair, I withdrew. Therefore, that suffices, the ruling you were to make.
Honourable members, unless there is an observation, I wanted to take this view. Governor, the House is going on recess today, and there are certain instruments which, if you don't pass, counties are going to be starved of cash. Yesterday, we passed the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, CARA, and we had to raise 2/3 to defeat a memorandum by the President, which wanted to distribute 380 billion. These senators here, we came together and we ensured that whatever was distributed was 387 billion. Today we are supposed to process other statutes, the cash disbursement schedule, and a few other bills that would be supporting devolution. We don't have much time to consider the report before us, but at least we have agreed in principle that, notwithstanding Jairus Nga's decision, this exercise must be undertaken because it's part of that appropriate action. And I wanted to make a proposal, honourable members, that if the governor stepped down, but I've also given guidelines on how Senate proceeds in light of that kind of concern, that we may need to defer or to adjourn early to allow us to make those other decisions that are good for devolution, and then propose another date where we'll not be taking too much time on preliminaries, where the governor will come and will go straight to action. And maybe by that time, the Auditor General will have provided the most recent report, so it will give us a fresher perspective on the affairs of Kisii. Honourable members, could I hear your comments on that? Senator Nyonka?
Thank you, Chair. I think I have no objection to us making a ruling, because the matters in this report are quite weighty and they need some time. So I would like to say I appreciate that you've accepted and realized that. Okay. Thank you.
Senator Chairman, I abide fully with your wisdom that has come forth. So I think we should proceed in that fashion.
Okay.
Chair, that's the best observation that we can make as a committee, and we totally agree, because we have spent quite a number of time on the preliminaries. And now that the governor has stepped down, I hope next time when he appears, then we shall have a...
He would step up again. Senator Mariam?
Chair, I agree. And the issue of audit queries are almost 20-something, 25, 26 queries. So with this time, it will not be convenient for us to work on this. So I agree with you, Chair.
Let me ask Senator Dulo and Senator Mtata to go on record. They were with us earlier, but they went into another meeting. Just go on record for answered purposes. Senator Mtata.
Okay, Mtata Koiti, Your Excellency, welcome and your delegation. I had gone for another meeting.
Don't forget to see the incoming president.
The incoming president, yes. I'd gone for another meeting on compensation of police officers.
You're welcome. And the long and short of it, Senator Mtata, is that the Jairus Nga ruling on constitutional timelines with respect to Article 2294 and 2298 have come up, and we have deliberated. The governor raised a preliminary objection, and he decided to stand it down just when we were about to give a ruling. But the principle we have taken is that Parliament is operating within the timelines, because these reports were tabled in Parliament within the 3 months, and Parliament took the decision to refer it to the relevant committees for appropriate action, and that's in line with the Constitution. And we have also asked the question, where constitutional timelines are breached by an entity, for example, KISI, submitting their financial statements in January of the subsequent year, would it be fair for then KISI to come here and say that the Auditor General breached the Constitution by not auditing reports that were not existent? So I know that Senator Omtata would be President of the Republic of Kenya, might want to look at some of these issues for greater clarity in the other institutions that interpret the laws.
I think in terms of the decision of Justice Nga, there was a decision by the Supreme Court on in one of my cases, where the court says that in situations like that, the court should go further and issue what they call a structural interdict and say, okay, you have not done this, but we are giving you maybe 6 months to do what was supposed to be done of you, so it doesn't fall through the cracks. So we might need the Nga decision to go back to the judge for a structural edict to tell us within what period of time we should have cleared up the backlog and stuff like that.
Thank you for that guidance. We have taken the position that we are pursuing a review because the window for appeal has closed. So we'll be, I think the legal team is preparing their brief and their strategy to seek a review. We do not want to expand the timelines. We want the timelines to remain the way they are. And Governor, it will be to your benefit if we are sharing revenue on the basis of the most recent financial statements. You know, right now we are sharing on the basis of 2021. So counties, 15% of the most recent revenue statements might be higher than the 387 billion that we are giving you. So we'll just be going back for that structure. You call it structured?
Structural interdict.
Structural interdict to help us deal with the past years. So, Governor, I have made the proposal that we would adjourn because the time remaining does not allow us to get into substantive issues, and yet we have a lot of matters that affect you directly as a county on the order paper. Do you have any objection to that?
No, Chair, I want to thank you, especially the Senate, as it is, for the good work you guys you are doing to the counties. You have been faithful to the course. We expect that not less than what you guys have agreed. Congratulations for what you did yesterday. I know you were there up to late. We want to, again, to ask you guys to make sure you push, because again, now you have become more of our police officers who are taking, the duty on behalf of the counties as well from the government. We want to, again, I want to say this as a chairman again at the COG, as the chairman of resource mobilization. Those resources you guys are looking at, how we wish that the counties could get them on time. The only thing I want to say is that Umtata, you know, you're a fighter in those courts, and that's why it could be better than other lawyers. But again, we respect.
Please proceed.
Yes, for sure.
Please proceed carefully.
He did go to School of Law, but he does it very well, Mr. Chairman. We must, where credit is due, let us give it. But Chair, I want to thank you again. We are ready to appear before you and another committee of Parliament I've been in Parliament. We have grilled people. We have summoned people. Therefore, when I'm being summoned, I'm happy to appear before this committee. There is nothing about it. I'm ready to be here and answer all questions and account for every penny which comes to Kisii. Thank you.
And as I allow Senator Onyonka to close, how many members of National Assembly do you have in Kisii County?
Constituency, we have 9, Chairman.
And there are others who are nominated from Kisii?
Yes.
I want to send you to your members of National Assembly. Go and have a conversation with them, because right now they are rejecting the push by Senate to bring road maintenance levy fund of 10 billion to county governments. It is an issue not just of principle, but compliance with the Constitution. Because roads, you have national roads and county roads. All Kenyans pay towards a road maintenance levy fund. And the national government should have its share. County government should also have their share. The members of National Assembly are ganging up to say that if they cannot get the 10.5 billion out of RMLF, which should be channeled to KERA, of course the Senate says the money should go directly to counties. They are saying it should go to KERA, which they control. They are saying if they can't get the 10.5 billion, counties are not going to get the conditional grants. Out of the conditional grants includes 40 billion of loans and grants. FLOCA money is there. NAV CDP money is there. Some counties are getting resources for water improvement. There are urban improvement loans and grants there. So please go talk to your members of National Assembly and remind them that their constituencies exist in the county. Whatever comes to the county does not go to another universe. It is going to benefit their constituents. It's extremely untidy that the Senate would be fighting for counties and the members of National Assembly, who some of whom aspire to be governors, would be fighting for money to go to other national government entities. I think that's a message I want to leave you with.
Chair, because just on your last comment, until one is a governor, I was a member of Parliament, we were selfish at that time. We will oppose anything going to the counties in brief view that there is a lot of theft in the counties. But indeed, as you're putting, when you get yourself there, that's the time you realize the reality comes to you. What were you opposing? Basically, as you put it, roads, they are either national or counties. And Umtata here, that's where you can be able to help us in either getting the interpretation of the law.
No, but you came with 2 lawyers here, legal advisor. Why do you need Umtata's help?
Umtata, does it for bono.
There was litigation.
The government.
There was litigation on that issue, which somebody initiated, and it's the Council of Governors which compromised it.
Yes.
Somebody is going to litigate that matter. And it's the Council of Governors which compromised it for a low-hanging fruit. Instead of going for the whole tree, they took a fruit.
And that's on record.
And abandoned the tree.
We will look at it.
Governor, again, you're accusing other people, and yet you guys agreed on some settlements so that you can look good in the eyes of the government.
For sure, Chair, even when we are seated here, by the time you'll get us in as a governor, Homa Bay soon, all Onyonka in the future, if he becomes the governor of Kisii, all Tharaka Nithi as a governor, that's the reality will down on you on how the counties are and how difficult you'll be able to deal with the issues as they are. But I'm happy that you have been true to the spirit of devolution as a Senate. Thank you.
Senator Onyonka, you could give us a...
Chair, I wouldn't want to extend this. I just wanted to say that, Governor, our job in this team is to interrogate money that we bring to you so that then the people who gave me a job and also gave you the job can be satisfied that we are guardians of that money. I want to say, Chair, thank you all for coming in, and I believe when we start the interrogation of these books, all shall be well. Thank you very much. And those of you who have come from Kisii, please travel well And in case the governor doesn't buy you lunch, I could offer a cup of tea. Thank you.
I doubt he'll buy them lunch because he does not even want to spend on legal expenses. He wants some tata to take on his cases. I think we'll bring it to a close. Auditor General, I hope the client is cooperating, showing up for meetings, providing documentation as required to avoid these situations where financials come the following year.
Thank you, Chair. There is a cooperation from the client in terms of going forward, provision of the information and also documentations that has made us to progress. Even for this meeting, there's some sufficient information that has been provided for us to have this meeting, which has now been scheduled.
Okay, so we shall set a proper date for a proper conversation on these reports. And EACC, we had asked you, just go on record because you had not introduced yourself.
Thank you, Chair. Patricia Chebet from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, liaison officer attached to this committee. I
hope when we meet again, you will give us a proper update on the issues that have been referred to EACC. I think there are some HR issues and some insurance matters. So we'll give you time to prepare that before our next substantive engagement with the County Executive of Kisii.
Well noted, Chair.
There being no other business, the meeting is adjourned. We wish you a safe journey back home.